Good morning, everyone. It's 10 o'clock. We'll call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum. All 5 members are present. Opening prayer this morning will be by Pastor Martha Hagen-Smith of Whaley Methodist Church, and that will be followed by our pledges led by Commissioner Arndt. If you would, please rise.
His mic is on.
She says she don't think her mic's on.
Let us go to God in prayer. Almighty God, before we begin today's work, we pause and give you thanks in this season of Advent, of waiting and anticipating once again that Christmas comes. You are the source of life and love, hope and peace and joy, and we thank you for the fresh start and possibility of this new day. We recognize your care for all of creation, and we pray that all of us, your servants gathered here, would join in loving this community and county that we call home, just as you love, O God. Give our leaders courage to fight for justice and righteousness. Pour out your wisdom on all gathered here this day. Give us eyes to see the needs all around. Respond in loving and caring ways. Help this Commissioners Court to listen, first of all, to you, O God, to the whole community and to one another. Help all of us to speak out and amplify the voices of those in our community who are the most vulnerable and are rarely heard. As we seek to live as good neighbors, as a family together, open our hearts to love extravagantly all of your children. We lift up each agenda item and each county department and employee represented here this day. We pray that our agenda would follow your agenda, God, that we live united as your beloved community. We pray that we would leave this place even better than we found it, passing it to the next generation, a legacy of mutual care and unity that celebrates our diversity and bridges our divides. Bless all of us who call Cooke County home, and help us join you, O God, in making Cooke County a better home for all of us, and all God's children said.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Pastor. Item 5 on our agenda, do we have anyone here for public comments this morning? Anyone sign up, Kathy?
No, sir.
Item 6, consent agenda. The consent agenda includes non-controversial and routine items that the court may act on with one single vote. The judge or a commissioner may pull any item from the consent agenda in order that the court discuss and act upon it individually as a part of regular agenda. Anyone have anything they want to discuss on the consent agenda?
If no one has anything, I make a motion we approve consent agenda.
I have a motion from Commissioner Clement to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
A second by Commissioner Snuggs. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item 7, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding Fairground Road. Commissioner Clement.
Yeah, let me move my water bottle out of the way here before I make a wet ring on the wood. Doug's here? Yes, Doug's here. So the Fair Barn Road, there's always was some discussion who owned the Fair Barn Road. I chipped it, I guess, 8 or 9 years ago, and I got one of those famous Shelley quotes. So I remember it well. That's not a county road. Anyway, you better not do that. I think it went along the one where if you do that, you'll be paying for that out of your own. We've all experienced that at times. But there was some research done, and some folks were surprised that no, it is county property and we chipped the road. So that brings us to today. I was surprised cattle guard pit showed up on the county road. And I thought, well, we better determine what's what before it goes any further. I put the one in that's there because I think I know it has to be, whatever we're going to do, we have to decide what we're going to do with it before we start working on it. It's been determined that the Fair Barn group gave the county those 4 acres. It's the little road that's up to the Fair Barn. They want to fence their property off, so in order for anything to move forward, we have to decide what we're going to do with the property. Though it is county property, I don't know if we could do a land swap with them and get a few acres on the north end of the property, put a parking lot up there. It all depends. I won't be here long enough to see this get done, but since it's in precinct 4 and I know it's county property, I thought we ought to have it on the agenda so y'all can get started, figure out what you want to do or what we're going to do.
I agree. I think that everyone, though, could benefit from a parking lot. I think the county fair barn would benefit, certainly if and when we decide to build additional facilities out in that area south of the jail.
Up here, took about 4 acres here, you could service all this with extra parking. That's just an idea. I mean, and like I've told everybody, I don't get to make the decision. That's a commissioner's court. I don't get to make that decision. The reason I didn't let them put the cattle guards in, I had no idea that was happening. I said, well, can't do that. They were going to have their show. I said, okay, we'll put the south one in, block the north one off, for the simple fact that we haven't had a discussion what to do with the property, and it was going to be a safety issue for people coming and going, so we installed one cattle guard. They had it sitting there. We just set it in place.
Thank you.
So, gentlemen, I know Doug may want to speak to this. Maybe you may not. I don't know. Anybody have any ideas?
Anybody have any comments or thoughts?
Everybody got a copy of what the summation?
We do. I printed one out for everyone.
Everybody got.
I mean, my thought is they gave it to us to help us with an issue we had at the time. I would suggest we go through the closing or the abandonment procedure and give it back to them. I would kind of hate to say, hey, y'all gave us something, but now to get it back, you got to give us something else.
Well, now,
I don't know that-
I understand that. I find that interesting. The problem is it is county property, and I've done work on that road. It's not like Precinct 4 hasn't invested money in it. I mean, they've got a benefit out of the fact that the county took care of it for that much time. And I don't want to make them pay us anything. I just thought it'd be kind of a neat deal if we could come up with a way to get a few acres on the north end to build a parking lot. And it would benefit everybody, them and us, and the people. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're supposed to be doing anyway, to serve the people. I think it would be good for the citizens. Thoughts? Yeah.
We'll open it up to the gallery if anyone has any comments. Sure. Just state your name, not that we don't know you.
State your name.
Everybody in the county knows him.
Anyway, for the record, Doug Smithson with the Cooke County Fair Board Association, not the other representation. But, yes, I was on the board when that transpired many years ago. When it swapped out from what was the county putting their road in and the Fair Board Association deeded it over to the counties to allow the process on it. The only thing I would say is that you're building a parking lot on the far north end. I know you have to look where the other cattle guard needs to be put in on that north end, so the further south coming in there. But also you probably want to cross over. You know, there was, if you look at here topography, there was some crossovers originally when you built the jail.
Mm-hmm.
There were some crossovers coming in there before they put the boulevard in, the Justice Boulevard in. And probably want to put a crossover to get to that part of it if you're talking about right around
If you want to put a good parking lot, put it on the south end of our pad side, south of the building, so we can use additional parking there.
Well,
That would benefit us a lot better.
for the record, I wasn't on the Commissioners Court when any of this happened.
None of y'all were.
I think Gary was, wasn't you?
No,
Nope.
he wasn't even on it. Was he on it?
Yeah,
What?
he was.
Yep, the deed now was signed over in 2004.
The deed was.
Or what I saw in-
The Fair Board Association done in 2004, but actually the deed was done in 2006.
6, okay. But whatever the agreement was
Well, I
prior.
thought you might have knowledge of it because
No.
I never,
I remember conversation that was, historical conversation after I was elected, but I don't remember any of the.
that happened long before I
Yeah.
ever got
It was
here.
less since then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought he might have some knowledge of
Y'all
what.
hear me better now, I guess? So, anyway, that'd be one of those things to take it back to the Fair Board Association part of it, as y'all work through this process, and same with the Fair Board Association to, see about swap out, trade out the work. Main thing is trying to the point of when the Fair Board met a while back, we looked at some safety issues because of more events with bigger livestock and stuff out there in case something got out. And with that new subdivision coming in on the east side with residential, and we would pay for something for liability if something got down to 82. And that's a lot of it right there.
No, I understand why you're fencing.
Yeah.
It's
In
just-
Makes sense.
the interim, can we not go ahead and would it be okay to allow them to put that second cattle guard in? So if somebody comes in there from the north,
That's up to you all. I was approached about cattle guards on the road a year ago, 8 months ago, 6 months ago, twice. And I said, we do have cattle guards out in Precinct 4, out in the Civils Bend area that belong to the county that were done in the early 1900s. And it can be done, but that has to be approved by the Commissioners Court. And I never heard any more about it until someone said, hey, you're putting cattle guards on the road. If you want to do that, that's fine. I mean, I didn't want to make that decision. That's like, to me, it's like a road bore. We have to run those through court. I mean, I can't tell them we can just go out there and do that. If y'all want to do that, that's fine, set it. But I think that needs to be a group discussion or a group vote.
but you okay with it? I mean, it is precinct 4.
But it's county property, so.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
Well, you're not volunteering to go put it in?
I think
I'm
they,
just joking.
yeah,
It's sitting there, it's not put in.
yeah. I mean, I
didn't-
wouldn't want to offer up a motion to say, do it, and, be something that you're
I
not.
don't have a problem with it putting it in.
Yeah.
Is there gonna be ever a gate over it?
No, that was one of the initial deals, was putting a gate there, but we didn't want to block because that was part of the discussion beginning with, to put a gate up there, but being known was a county road. I've known it's been a county road, not to put a gate up there, and there's some other safety issues if you do put a gate there too.
Right. And the reason I'm asking, what would be wrong with letting me put the fence up and we still own it, and it's just got a cattle guard across it?
You gotta maintain cattle guard, chips and seals, I drove over it the other day, and it's rough.
Yeah.
And everybody's gonna be complaining until it's smoothed all the way out.
Oh, yeah? I'm just throwing that,
But I mean, Chips Hill Road's there. The cattle guards, if they're there, is a non-issue. And then whether or not you want to let them fence it, I mean, we still close it, no matter. I mean, all I'm thinking right now is, because this process is going to take
It's gonna take a while.
60 days.
You're gonna have to resurvey it.
My thought and recommendation, which we got up and coming in the year, is the Junior Livestock Show, which is in January. The possibility, if we're looking at the point of work in progress, moving may take, 60 days is part of it, what's your procedure, what y'all have to do, is if we can go ahead and set the cattle guard to the north end, and knowing that we're all on the same path going to that end, just go ahead and deed it back to the Fair Board Association. That way, it absolves y'all from any liability. That's just my-
I don't know if we can I get nervous when you have the county owns a piece of property, and I know y'all gave it to the county, but you did get a benefit from the county having it.
Very little.
That's a mile-long road, and nobody helped Precinct 4 pay for that. That all came out of Precinct 4, but
What's it listed under if it was deeded over to the
You looking for Cooke County Fair Board, Shelley? Is that
Well, I
what?
found the fair board, but the 4 acres or whatever the road.
Do you have copies of the surveys?
There's a deed. I mean, it's
The deed.
Freeman and him done it, from what I can tell.
This is summation of it, it's all part of your deal, your account, it's under county.
Is it under the Justice Center?
Yes. It's all
we
under-
own both roads in the middle.
According to the appraisal district, when the 4 acres is deeded out, we combine those accounts as one account, we can keep it a separate account for the appraisal district.
And I don't
But
know.
what was done by the appraisal district is not relevant to what.
I know, I'm just looking to see what the value.
But that's the reason you're not finding it, because it's all one piece,
It's all in
yeah.
one deal.
It's all in one
I'm
deal.
trying to find the value.
But, I mean, if we do a road closure, it typically reverts back to the property owner anyway, or an abandonment, I don't know what the
We'll have to do an
appropriate.
abandonment.
Yeah, so, I mean, just depends on whether or not we're trying to recover some costs there, or just wanna, I mean, and of course, the whole rationale between interlocal is what the Fair Board does for the community, and what the kids and stuff of that nature is their, how they benefit Cooke County.
If you might want to read the scenario. Shall we,
So,
of history.
What makes me nervous is this was all about to happen and nobody really knew it was going to happen. And one day there would have been a fence running up the middle of the boulevard, or not the boulevard, but the
right away there.
right away
Yeah.
between the boulevard and the Fair Road. And that, you can't allow that to happen. We have to take action before anything can happen. And I don't know.
I mean, I
I've
think
always
everybody would agree it's a good idea, but you're right.
I've always been a supporter of the Fair Board and all the shows that went on out there, but I want to make sure we do everything legally. And, but I kind of like the idea of a swap to build a parking lot
Where are you wanting to build a parking lot at?
on the north end,
To benefit like the jail?
jail and anything else.
And if we're
that
gonna
would
get the
free up-
property, I'd hate to tie it, I mean, I'd hate to sign up for something that says has to be a parking lot, you know?
Well, I never said it had to be a parking lot, but you
But
could
in
make
other
a
words, it
parking
needs to be an
lot.
open, and it's a swap to do whatever we want if we were gonna do that,
Well, I just thought a parking lot would be a good idea.
yeah.
Just a thought.
So, that was what you
Like
wanted.
I said, you're gonna have to,
Right now, we're at a standstill until y'all decide.
I think, I don't have a problem with putting the other cattle guard in for safety's sake. Because I know there's people driving around it.
You wanna motion that?
But just a minute. If you want to take on extra cattle guards, I've got, Precinct 4 has 4 or 5, maybe 6, and we have to rebuild them. Build new ones every now and then because they get tore up. I'm not looking for more expenses.
Well, do
Just
we
to
want
build
them to go close the hole?
Do I?
Do you want them to go close the hole?
No, it's there now. You might as well set the cattle guard in there. I'm talking about, someone made mention of, we could keep it and just put the cattle guards and fence it off. I don't know if you can fence off county property like that and put it in, can you? We'd have to look at all the legalities of that.
Yeah, I think probably the action today, just let them put the cattle guard in
We'll
for
put the cattle
safety.
guard in and be done.
Rick's, wanting to weigh in here.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why does the fence have a fence in the road? Couldn't the fence go along the west side of the
Yeah.
road? Your property and away from the road?
We looked at the points to say the whole road, and we're looking to put the fence on the east side of the road. If you put it on the west side right there, we'd have to put in 6 gates, pushing gates to the points to be able to close our part of it. Which we could put gates in, but you'd have to put 6 gates in, and it'd be very inconvenient opening and closing gates and securing the thing on the east, if it was on the west side of the road.
Especially on a busy day when people are coming and going and doing.
Basically, being that all the Fair Board members are volunteers, not paid, so we'd have to go out there, open it up, and that, anyone wanting to lease the building, utilize the building, then you basically open and close all the gates and stuff. And if gates are open, they don't keep the cattle from or livestock from going out the gates, going out to 82 or across over the subdivision.
Or if they're excited, somebody opens a gate.
You couldn't put cattle guards on those two main entrances? Running,
Now, you're talking about, you've got one on South Road,
Yeah.
you've got one up there south of the building.
That's
You have
two.
to put one that's right there on the north side of the building. You'd have to put one also for the north. You've got about 4 or 5 entrances on that east side that you'd have to put there for cattle guards.
yeah, if you didn't connect it with the road.
And then
You're gonna have,
And you got a fence right down alongside the building part of it. So,
you're gonna have another issue, and you and I talked about that, is
Yeah.
the fire hydrants.
yeah, we can look at that.
Because you wanna put the fire hydrants on the outside of the fence,
Oh, I can't do that, because that's in the center.
and if you have a fire
The
hydrant,
legal property boundary line at that time was where the power poles are, right down the middle of the boulevard.
What about a convenience fence though, and leave them on the outside?
Say again?
What about a convenience fence and leave the hydrants on the outside of the fence?
Yeah.
I mean, that 3 or 4 foot's not gonna buy you anything extra. You're not gonna graze it or,
Right.
So-
There's an option.
well, the problem with putting the fence, putting the fire hydrants outside the fence, and then, let's say you have a fire at the fair barn, how do you get across? You're gonna have to crawl the fence to get to a fire hydrant.
of course, if you have a fire at the jail, you probably,
Oh, you can't fence them in either way, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's,
Okay.
I don't know, I guess you have to put gates by them. I don't know, that's
we
something
got
somebody
more
else-
risk outside the fair board catching fire probably or having a needed response.
Oh, I know.
Y'all discuss it or table it for the time being, so you don't very much want it.
Well, no, I think that we need to go ahead and get the other cattle guard in.
That's fine. You wanna put it in?
You did the one that, you did a good job. You take a minute to drop it in.
Boy, I sure do like a parking lot on the north side of that property.
So do we need a motion to allow Commissioner Clement to put in the other one as well? Have a little bit more vested interest in that property?
If y'all wanna put it in there, make a motion.
Well, how about, they'd already signed up somebody, they had a contractor to do it, right? Yeah, I mean,
There's,
All we just need authority to be able to put it in.
we will set it because it's gonna have to have gravel hauled in, because at the end of the day, the cattle guard doesn't match the depth of the road. And it's, if you're gonna work on the road, we need to be the ones working on the road.
And I think from a liability standpoint too, we're better to do it.
Yeah.
gonna happen. I mean, it's,
Yeah, we don't want to leave a hole.
Come on, guys, if you want me to do it, make a motion.
I'm gonna have to be okay with you.
yeah, I mean,
You'll find out after you make the motion.
Yeah, we'll find out how he votes.
move to approve.
I have a motion from Commissioner Hollowell to approve the installation of a cattle guard on the north end of the Fairground Road installed by precinct number 4.
I'll second that, and if you need a little help from my guys, I'll send some help.
Oh, it doesn't take much.
I have a second from Commissioner Snuggs. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, 5-0.
Now, it may have to wait a little bit till it dries, because if it's supposed to storm pretty good, and there's no sense in going out there trying to make a mess out of it.
There's really nothing going on until January 2nd.
You would probably be amazed at how much traffic drives up and down that little road.
Thank you. Thanks, Doug.
Thank you, Doug. This is much easier than taxes, isn't it?
Deliberate and consider options, item 8. Deliberate and consider options of paying out overtime or allowing employees to carry over paid time off due to staffing shortages, EMS. Wes, can you give us a briefing of what's going on? Is Elizabeth in the room? Go ahead.
As you all know, there's not a wealth of public safety employees out there to be hired. We've got 3 open spots right now. Excuse me, we've got 2 open spots right now. We've had 3 open spots for quite some time. We're coming up to the end of the year where we have a lot of people that need to take some time off before they lose it. I discussed it with Elizabeth, and she said that by extending time usually just compounds the problem. So her recommendation was to pay it out. That figure is $5,780.50 for 8 employees, different amounts per employee. That would alleviate a lot of our staffing problems, plus they wouldn't lose their time because we can't cover their shifts if they take off. And before this pay period that we just turned in, that was the figures. It may be a little bit less now. I don't know if they've taken some of that time off, but I know my figures, there was 200 hours that needed to be taken off by the end of the year prior to this last pay period.
And the money's there because you've been short-staffed. It's not any increase in your line item. Move to approve.
Have a motion to approve the option for paying out overtime allowances for the EMS department, $5,780.50.
Second.
Have a second from Commissioner Clement. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Wes.
Thank you.
Item 9, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding Main Street parking lot. We only received 1 bid, is that correct, Shelley? And it was filled out incorrect?
Yes.
I believe we need to put it back out there again and maybe expand the,
You need to reject that bid,
Cool.
and you need to approve re-advertising.
Okay.
I had one contractor, just couldn't get it done in time. Said he'd like to try to bid on it if we did it again. Whether they will or not, I don't know, but
I've got a list of contractors that we can call in between. And I got architects that have done work around here for us.
Move that we reject this bid and re-advertise.
I have a
to get us
motion.
some contractors.
Item number 9, Main Street parking lot. I have a motion to reject the 1 bid that we did receive and to republish by Commissioner Hollowell.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Snuggs. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item 10, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding the Crest Building. I do not have any update on the Crest Building. Anyone else? We'll take no action on the Crest Building. Item 11, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding county radio communication system.
We spent the last couple of weeks finishing up installations and doing coverage studies and stuff of that nature. We were initially supposed to go live on the 15th at 10 a.m. That's now slipped until the 20th. In the process of doing some assessments, we found a faulty antenna at one of the tower sites, and that antenna should be replaced tomorrow. We'll go out on Wednesday to look at all the towers and do some of the acceptance testing. They're actually in dispatch today. It's being reviewed by the sheriff and dispatch staff to be sure that it meets all the criteria. And they provided the services, the contract. Again, probably Wednesday, Jason, Fletcher, probably Sappington. There'll be a group of us that go out to the tower sites and say, yeah, the towers are there, generators are in place, everything's working properly, and come back with a recommendation to the court to sign off on substantial completion.
Thank you, Commissioner, for the update. Anyone have any questions?
They have all the generators and everything hooked up?
They do. Everything we think is working.
There was I went and looked at the one at Sybil's Bend, and there was a propane tank sitting outside the fence, a new one. But there was one installed inside.
Yeah. The third-party sub actually had propane tanks delivered by two different vendors. And so that was not on us at all, but that tank belongs to Douglas Distributors, and they will come and get it.
They have to go get it.
Anything else on communication systems? We'll take no action on item 11. Item 12, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding annex. Getting close.
Carpet, flooring, all that's in place. It's done.
Even the entryway and all that?
It's done.
Wow.
Yep.
It's real good.
Carpet from the time you get off the elevator to, yep, it's all done. The tile in the area between the storage buildings.
Not much left to do.
No.
That's the one we gonna stamp completion.
They need to fix that water hydrant, or fountain or whatever. They had a couple of minor punch lists and things, but,
Is there a window in the judge's
Oh,
office
yeah.
facing east?
they've gotta take the stucco from the two windows on
Okay.
the east
I
side.
noticed that this.
Yes, now they do have the windows in what will be the IT, that looks
Yeah.
good. They need to remove the stucco, that's one of the things they need to finish up on, so,
Lots of natural light, it's nice.
yeah. So,
And Rick, you started a punch list?
Yeah, I have a list in my head. I haven't actually started the list.
If you would, go ahead and start that process and we'll kind of get ahead of it.
you might visit with Rick and Monty and see what their punch list is and see how much yours mirrors theirs, because they may be addressing it. So, it should be on their list too, so.
Right.
Okay, anything else on the annex? Then we'll take no action on item 12. Item 13, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding proposed weight station. Anything to report, Commissioner?
I haven't had anything.
You're going to set up a meeting with them, with the new guy?
Yes. I'll try to do that this week.
Okay. Item 13, no action. Item 14, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding Prosperity Building. We have a request to extend the lease option on the second floor with Mr. Lewis. I believe it's in your packet.
Move to approve or authorize your signature.
Okay. Have a motion to authorize the judge to sign the lease agreement for an extension for the Lewis Company from Commissioner Hollowell.
Second.
Have a second from Commissioner Arndt. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Item 15, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding various grant funds. Any good news, Shelley?
No. Precinct 4 was, notified they're getting a whopping $0.00 for PW 596. The PW had already been paid out at 75% of the total.
I was gonna say, please tell them that I already got the money. Don't make it sound like I did.
Well, it's for, because you have to turn in all the
Yeah, I know.
roads, and so. And then I've been hit with 3 very large data requests, 2 for PW 1030, which is precinct 3, it's already been paid out 100%. And for that big road that we just turned in for you, precinct 4, is that 460 or 416?
416,
416.
414 or 416, which one?
416, I think.
416.
Yeah. And so I've been working, I got most of the items they want, our bid procedure for our rock, so I have to copy the ad in the paper and the specs and
There's a new team again.
yes,
Looks like team number 10, just since I've been here.
yeah.
Or I say team, I know new lead person anyway. I think several of them are new again.
So I've been working on those. The FEMA COVID is due at the end of the month. I plan to start the CTIFs this week and then American Rescues. Pretty much spent.
You need anything from us, Shelley?
No.
Just patience.
Then we'll take no action on item 15. Item 16, adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion from Commissioner Snuggs to adjourn, a second from Commissioner Art. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, we are adjourned.